Welcome back everyone, it's Untap4Go, and today we'll be playing Vito's Thirst in Standard. So what this deck wants to do is get Vito into play, and then gain as much life as possible to be able to drain our opponents out. So we have a lot of various ways to get there, so we can pay the 5 mana to give all of our creatures lifelink, which is cool because we're ramping also between playing a few copies of Tangled Florahedron for some mana, as well as Dryad of the Ilysian Grove to be able to play additional lands. Dryad of the Ilysian Grove is also in this deck for a very key purpose, to be able to turn all of our Abzan colored lands into all 5 colors, so we can use Kenrith and use any of his abilities, especially the one that gives him haste. And then to top off the deck, we're just packing a lot of removal and a lot of ways to gain life. We have 2 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst to be able to deal with our opponent's low ball creatures as well as late game creatures. We're playing 3 copies of Feed the Swarm since we're gaining so much life, the loss of life isn't really going to matter, but being able to hit enchantments is very relevant. And then I'm playing 2 copies of Heartless Act because you can never be too prepared. We can play Chevill since he has Death Touch, and he's going to place bounty counters on our opponent's creatures. It's going to gain us some life, which is going to trigger with the Vito, and it's going to help us draw into more resources. We're playing all 4 copies of Life Goes On. This deals 4 for 1 mana if we have Vito in play, and 8 if a creature dies. Then I'm playing Inscription of Abundance. This allows us to fight with our creatures and gain us some life. Scavenging Ooze lets us exile creatures from our opponent's graveyard and gain some life. And then we have Elder Gargaroth. This gains us 3 life whenever it attacks or blocks, as well as draws cards and creates bodies if we needed to. The Great Henge, which gains us 2 life every time we tap it. And finally Kenrith, because you can just pay 3 mana and gain 5 life. And that's the deck. If you like it, I'll leave a link down below in the description for you to try it out. And please consider leaving a like, a comment, subscribe, and the bell. Trying to get 5 likes on today's video. And let's take us into some games and show us how thirsty Vito really is. Alright, up against our first opponent, and they are a Urian deck, so we know they have 80 cards. This is like a true Urian deck. We do technically have 2 lands. We could get away with this, but double tap land is going to hurt. This is a slow deck that we're up against, where they're just trying to assemble their board state, so we could probably get away with keeping this, but our draws have to be like perfect. We're on 3rd land. I mean, technically, as I like to say on this channel, never punished. I mean, 3 tapped lands is hard, but we're not playing against mono red, so we'll be fine. They got the extra life sleeves. That's really cool. So they must have been a Twitch streamer for that event. I haven't gotten into Twitch streaming or anything yet. That's something that I really want to try, but just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who got invited to this event and streamed and, you know, got all that money for the charity. That's awesome. That's really cool. I was actually watching CGB's version of it. That Untapped Forest was pretty sweet. I was watching a video for CGB last night, like a follow-up video where he showed his two best games. If you haven't checked that out, that video is actually really, really good. It's sped up a little bit for as far as the gameplay goes, but there's a lot of like really, really intricate interactions between the 2 players. He played against 2 pros. I can't remember the names. Regardless, I'm on a tangent. Anyway, he set his goal initially to $1,000 in donations, and they crushed it. So he ended up increasing it to 10,000. And by the time I was watching the video, he was at about 6,000 or so. So shout out to everybody. I think somebody even donated like $1,400 or something, which I thought was just crazy. So I'm on this tangent. Didn't even realize they destroyed or exiled our Chevill. We can't interact with that, so could start playing Vito. Hope that they don't have another answer to this, and then we can just start gaining some life here. Beginning to come down with like a little bit of a nasally congestion, so if my voice comes in a little weird, I apologize for that. I did tweak with my audio settings though finally, and I think I got it from being very ear piercing. So if anybody that watches the channel so far, I do deeply apologize for yesterday's video. Definitely wasn't my plan to have it be piercing, but the gameplay was so good and I thought the video was worth sharing, so I tried tweaking with the audio and mastering it a little bit. I got it the best that I could. Anyway, hopefully moving forward, the rest of the videos that I provide and post on the channel will be in higher quality and I'm constantly trying to improve my methods and get more efficient. So, yeah, end tangent again. So the Banishing Light our Vito, which is fine because we can get that back. Kenrith is good. Yeah, I think we want to keep Kenrith. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get back our Vito. See if our opponent wants to block with the Overwhelmed Apprentice. Probably not. Green, green. Now, if our opponent destroys any of our creatures, life goes on, hits for a lot. Very tutelage. So this is just like Esper Mill. This is cool. Probably playing board wipes and stuff too, like Shatter the Sky. I can imagine I'll run into. Opponent pays a 3 life to play Skyclave Apparition. That's a little bit frustrating for us. They hit our Vito. Since no creature died, I mean, I'm still going to fire it just so they lose 4 life. Alright, land for us, not super good. We have creatures in the yard. Alright, well, we just start getting in on the offensive. Opponent decides not to trade, so I'm not going to pump. I'll just pass. Alright, into the story for our opponent. So they're getting a full grip. They most likely have a Dragon Lock or some variation of it, maybe Anti-Cognition. Something else to be mindful of. Well, there goes our Great Henge. Probably fine with not seeing that this game. I don't think we want to draw extra cards. Alright, opponent's attacking for 2, so we'll take it. Gargaroth is good. Odds are it's not going to resolve. Let's try going to combat first. See if our opponent wants to kill our creatures. He doesn't. Opponent has a few creatures in their graveyard now too. Let's start eating them up. Exile 1 more card and still have enough mana for the Elder Gargaroth. So opponent's thinking about this. Alright, cool. So we force them to use their removal / counter spell. And now we can get down our Elder Gargaroth. And we're in pretty good shape again. Our opponent has to kill this. Alright, so drawing the card. So they were 1 mana short from buying Ilysian. They could find one, and they could draw into one. Opponent hit us with the thinking. I appreciate that. Not a lot of people remember that that button exists. Ooh. Dance of the Manse. That's a little frustrating. So our opponent doesn't get the value to turn them into creatures, which is good for us. We're still a little bit of a ways from closing out the door on this game. And there's a Vito. We take the 2. Scavenging Ooze is not bad. It is a huge threat. Alright, so we're gonna get in for the 2. We're down to 20. We're down to 19 lands. 19 cards left in our deck. It's not great. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17. So we have 17 of our 24 lands between our graveyard and our in play. So with seven lands remaining, 6 lands remaining, 5. So we have a 1 in 3 chance from drawing a land here. Right, opponent buys Urian, so this is like the turn. We have to make a huge play here. All right, we'll exile one of our Vitos. Opponent's just gonna have like the 1 mana kill spell anyway. That's fine. Alright, so it's not. It's one of the lands. That's good. That's great for us. I'll hit our opponent with the thinking they were courteous. So we will be 2. I can kill the Skyclave Apparition. We don't get back the Vito, we just get back a 3/3, so that's kind of irrelevant. It really doesn't matter which one we kill here. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it does. I'll kill this so he can't get the ETB effect again. So we'll get a 3/3. It's cool. And they're about to get their Urian, which means they're going to be able to flicker Teferi's Tutelage and mill at least 4 more cards. Plus this, so that's 6 more cards. There's the Shatter. We draw a card, down to 8. Alright, so we're dead next turn. We don't kill our opponent, which doesn't seem likely. Dang, our opponent still has 52 cards left. Oh. We'll hit our opponent with the good game. This deck in Esper seems really good. And Midnight Clock probably isn't necessary, but my opponent gets it. Okay. Good game, opponent. Alright, so we're on the play, and we're packing a lot of removal. I can probably get away with keeping this till we find our Vito. Against Johnny Boo. That's a good draw for us. And our opponent can just start playing creatures. We'll just kill them and draw cards. Ooh, don't like that. Oh, I like that. Yep, so put that on there. Go ahead and kill this. We already have the white. I'll actually hold that too. I can have this fight at instant speed if I need to. Yeah, and I'll probably do that. Alright, so now we're just kind of in a spot where we kind of are one for wanting our, they're one for wanting themselves, I guess. Should have waited until I went to activate it. The opponent waited until the end step and I tried to activate it, they could have killed it on the stack. The Dryad's not really a great draw for us. So I think we just exile their yard. Keep our Scavenging Ooze outside of their damage-based range. And Questing Beastie's good. Well, I'll gain 4. So kind of just null and voids that entire turn. Alright, so we drew a tap land. This isn't terrible. Go ahead and kill that. We lose 4, gain 1, essentially. Or lose 1, essentially. Could play that. Opponent's just hitting us with a good game. We will follow suit. Put them down to 4, and I think we got it locked up. We just drew like all of our removal half of the deck up against a deck where it's like completely relevant. There's the Bone Crusher. Put him on that, why not? Well, we'll go ahead and kill this, see if we can draw into another removal spell. No, not that fortunate. Good game, opponent. Okay, I mean, we're on the play. His hand's a little weird, but we could ramp into a turn 4 Kenrith. Try to play out like that, see how it goes. Alright, so play this tapped. Our opponent has a mountain, so, I mean, odds are they're just going to shock this, but I don't know. Proxa's good. I guess I'll... I guess I'm gonna have to dump the Kenrith. That's a good draw for us. So we can just play that and go ahead and nuke the one that's in his yard. And we have a backup Scooze, which is why I didn't discard it, because up against this deck, odds are they're going to be able to kill our Scavenging Ooze. And if that's the case, I want to have another one. Alright, Mire Triton's good. I'm actually going to have my Florahedron fight this Mire Triton. And that way I can keep up the green in case they play another Croxa. I can just exile it. Alright, so opponent's spending their turn doing that instead. So we'll exile their Mire Triton, keep their graveyard in check a little bit. Opponent decides Liliana is not worth it, so we'll play this Scry. Heartless Act is good, but we're not really doing anything. I feel like I'm going to get immediately punished if I don't keep it, so for now I'll just run out our Dryad. Okay. I mean, our opponent wants to spend their turn just dealing with our threats. Now I can just hold up the Heartless Act. I mean, I guess I kind of have to play this, right? I mean, if I play the Ooze, he's just gonna Croxa, most likely. I might as well hold up the Heartless Act. If it's not a Croxa, I can kill it. If it is a Croxa, I can discard the Heartless Act to it and then eat it. And that's good for me. I want my opponent having any parts in that. Yeah, I guess it's time. Just run it out and see what happens. Could have played the Fabled Passage too to have an additional green, which in hindsight it probably should have. Alright, Robber the Rich isn't bad. The opponent doesn't want to do nothing. We're going to eat their cards. We're just going to eat all of their cards.
Let's never cross paths again.
And just for safety, hit this and grow this to 4. Fabled Passage is cool. Go ahead and kill this Robber of the Rich. And we're going to start beating our opponent down to 6, and it can compete with a Croxa, so unless they can kill our Scavenging Ooze. But if they do, then we're not in very good shape, honestly. There's the Croxa. It's still passing to us. So I guess I'm just going to start eating the rest of their cards. Opponent hits us with a nice. I'm sorry that I picked like one of the best cards against your deck. It's not my fault. It's a good meta call. I know that Rakdos is a popular deck right now. Opponent finally got the Ooze. Well, I'm just gonna eat the rest of his cards so they don't have a graveyard. I'm not worried about the life. The only creature I have is Kenrith. Alright, so I could just beat him down. Ox of Agonis is pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna put it on the Ox, because if I draw removal... Okay, well that's good. I'll play this for green. Double Chevill. That was a terrible symbiosis. I'm actually gonna hold this up as a blocker now. I mean, our Dryad's a 5/7, so I mean it's not terrible. Opponent decides to not shatter this guy. Ooh, Great Henge is good. Great Henge is great. It's so we're just gonna pass it up. Our opponent's staring down two draw engines now, so they're definitely not feeling good about it, I don't think. Double Ox though, that's cool. In the main. So we're gonna gain the 2. Oh, Dryad's good. Draws us some cards. Ooh. Opponent has a turn. I think they might just be dead. We're killing the Ox. I mean, I think we're killing them both regardless, but... Yeah, our opponent's just dead. Oh! Okay, wait. No, that's still it. We gain 3 from the Ox dying, and then he takes the 1. Good game. Woo! Welcome back to the wrap-up, everyone. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. So today we went 2-1 for a pretty exciting finish, and I gotta say the last game winning with Vito was awesome. Just absolutely amazing. Did exactly what I wanted the deck to do. The first game was pretty rough against Urian. It's hard to beat that deck, but it's just hard. I think every deck has a hard chance competing. Even in the mirror match, it's like you're just playing the value game all day. So anyway, regardless, the deck is insanely fun. It's very unique. A lot of people don't see it coming, and Kenrith is still a card in this format, everyone. So I'm actually going to be playing around with this a lot in the future. I think I'm going to build a Mardu Humans deck with this, and I'm probably going to build some form of a Reanimator deck that might play this as well. So stay tuned for that. And if you like the deck, check the link out in the description so you can try it out. And please consider leaving a like on today's video. I want to get 5 likes at least. And hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would really help the channel growth and let me reach more people, so that way more people can be involved in this. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.